In this video, we're going to answer what is a DAO, how does it work, and we'll also discuss why DAOs are important in the world of cryptocurrencies, in general. Let's get to it. First things first, what is a DAO, in the first place? DAO abbreviates as a decentralized autonomous organization. Three very big words, but when you break them down, the concept itself is rather simple. To put it shortly, though, decentralization refers to something lacking a single, central authority. Imagine a company without a CEO where all of the employees are equally responsible for making decisions. Autonomous is a fancy way of saying self-sufficient. This refers to a system being able to complete certain processes without someone else intervening, and having to manually complete the process. Lastly, in this context, organization references the fact that there is a group of people making the decisions. So, when you add all of that together, DAO simply stands for a group of individuals who are concerned with some sort of an active project, and are responsible for making decisions, changes, and upgrades to that said project. In the cryptocurrency world, the equivalent of this would be a smart contract. Smart contracts are special programmed agreements that allow for certain processes to happen automatically, without the need for a human to intervene. Smart contracts allow users to participate in multiple different processes: cryptocurrency trading, lending and borrowing money, trustless gambling, and so much more. In order to perform certain updates and programmable changes to the contract, and to take care of the project behind it, in general, you have DAOs, groups of people who all vote on proposed changes to their respective network, and implement them, if a mutual decision is made. Now that you have a bit of a better idea of what is a DAO, you might naturally wonder, how do they work? Well, the underlying idea behind DAOs is actually pretty simple. However, we're going to touch on a bit of tokenomics that will give you a better understanding of what to expect when it comes to DAOs. Now, think about the last time you and your friends got together at someone's place for a casual hangout. At some point in time, someone asked the big question, should you order pizza or Chinese food? Well, there's only one way to settle this question. In a civil fashion, you and your friends decided to vote. In this situation, there was no central entity who would come and make the decision for the entire group. Instead, each member of the friends group votes, and gets to be a part of the decision-making process. This is essentially how a DAO functions. Well, it's a bit more complex than that, but the general idea is the same. For starters, in order for a DAO to form around a specific crypto project, there needs to be a token associated with that project. But in regards to DAOs, tokens are like voting ballots. The more tokens each individual in the DAO has, the stronger will their vote become. Think of the same pizza versus Chinese food example discussed earlier. Let's say, some of your friends simply have a huge craving for pizza. Well, in this case, you might feel bad for them. If you do end up ordering Chinese, those friends simply sway the rest of the group's decision. While there's no feeling bad or swaying with DAOs, individuals with a larger collection of tokens are going to have more influential votes, nonetheless. In the vast majority of cases, the tokens can be acquired by purchasing or trading them on a cryptocurrency exchange. Now that you have a better understanding of what is a DAO in crypto, and can comprehend how these DAOs work, in the first place, the big question that remains is simple: why do DAOs exist, and why are they even important? With time, the communities behind crypto projects have understood that the concept of a DAO is actually essential for any long-term decentralized ecosystem to prosper, and retain its decentralized features. The core feature of a DAO is decision-making. Namely, DAOs are responsible for all of the core decisions that might involve the crypto project. This is true with some sort of changes, upgrades and updates, new features, token logic tweaks, and so on, and so forth. The biggest benefit of a DAO, in this regard, is the fact that all of these decisions are going to be completely trustless. In other words, they won't be made by a single person who might have some selfish intentions in mind, but rather, by the actual community behind the project. All of that is to say, with a DAO making the decisions on certain questions regarding the crypto project, there's a much higher chance that the right decision will be made, instead of one that would maximize the profits, short term, but lead to horrible customer experiences and selling out. Another benefit, and also a shortcoming, in a way, is the fact that DAOs operate in an open source manner. What this means is that their processes can be viewed at any point in time, and the integrity of their decisions, and, following that, code, can be inspected by anybody. The shortcoming here is that DAOs then become vulnerable to external attacks, since everything is out there, in the open. Malicious third parties might spot a loophole, and take advantage of it. Lastly, it's also worth mentioning that the token voting system is sometimes brought into question, as well. As I've told you earlier, DAO members vote on changes and upgrades of a project with their tokens. Meaning, the more tokens you have, the more votes you will be able to cast, as well. What this might lead to is a big player coming in, buying up an exponential number of tokens, and thus, creating a sort of centralized environment. Their votes would then be the ones that would sway decisions the most. Naturally, many DAOs tend to have safety measures against something like this happening, but the concern is still out there. I hope you found it interesting. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in our next video.